Hey everybody, and welcome to the
Battle Beast Podcast.
Okay, doing it again. Hey everybody, and welcome to the Invincible Podcast, probably the best superhero podcast in the universe. This is your show where friends talk all things Invincible, a comic book by Robert Kirkman, Corey Walker, and Ryan Ottley. And what are you guys doing?
Gold. That was good.
No, we're fine. I finished the intro. Let's do it.
Yeah, we're good.
What's going on? I'm one of your hosts, Ryan. Joining me, of course, are these guys, TJ.
Hello, it's TJ.
And Bill.
Hi, guys.
And we have a special guest for the first time in person. Wyatt
The
Layne,
sound of the podcast.
The sound of the Invincible Podcast.
Hey guys, how's it going? It is crazy to be here IRL. Like it's wild. So thank you for having
That's crazy. What time is it there?
Things might look a little weird if you're checking us out on the video version of the podcast, and if they sound a little off, then it's because we're recording in hotel rooms. We are currently outside of Chicago in Lockport, Illinois, doing all kinds of fun stuff, but we'll get into that in a little bit. If you wanted to be a part of the show, you can email us at theinvinciblepodcast@gmail.com. Find us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, all that good stuff. Check out the website, theinvinciblepodcast@gmail.com. You can find all the episodes there, our videos, everything organized, a way to contact us, and so on. I don't know if I can handle YouTubing in the same room.
I was ready for like the very antagonistic relationship that we got a little bit before recording, but now they've just like joined forces completely. It's great. It's great to see.
I feel like this is going to be one you need to head over to YouTube and just watch the video.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. If you're new to the show, if you've stumbled on this, this is our regularly scheduled spoiler warning for the comic book. We do not hold back as far as spoilers for the comic goes. So if you only watch the animated series, I would be warned. We will get into those spoilers. And what are you doing? You should be reading the comic. Go check it out and then come back. But if not, we have all the new reader episodes for those of you that are, would like to follow along with some people that have never read the comic before, as well as all the Invincible animated series episodes where we review those episodes and talk all about them without spoiling the comic. But
don't be biased though, and just listen to the new readers. Like, there's a lot of good content. All right,
there is.
I have a lot of hate for the new reader episodes.
Well, there's a reason people prefer them, I think. But all right, everybody. I actually got a couple emails at the start of the episode, which is a little odd. I think we had emails throughout the entire episode, but I want to read a couple to kick it off. We've got one here from Alex. Hey, Ryan, Bill, and the sweet one, TJ.
That's the sweet one.
We need another Invincible art show. Maybe fan art from the fans. Plus, when are you guys making an Instagram account? I tried sending some work through email, but it didn't seem to open. I have all my work on Instagram at AlexOrtega1. Oh, man, we have been talking about doing another art show for a while now. I wish we could. I'm really excited to. We want to do one with... including a lot of listeners and invite people to kind of join the call and show off some of their Invincible artwork.
That's what I really want to see.
Yeah, ever since we did that first one with TJ's art show and of all of his commissions. But we've just been busy. We have a couple other ideas for videos and stuff. But, as you can, I'm sure, noticed, we still haven't even finished our watch-alongs. We just haven't had a chance to sit down and get that done. So hopefully when our schedules free up a little bit, we'll be able to, do some more of those kind of videos and more of those live streams and things like that. But
and that would be a good reason to start an Instagram account too. Like what better time to have other people ship us their.
And as far as I know from the three of us, TJ, you are the only one with an Instagram account.
Yeah. And it's literally just all of my
so our
commissions.
Instagram account, I think it's safe to say, is TJ's. It is,
which is TJ's. Shit, I don't even know. Like TJ's.commissions .art or something like that.
Well, double check and let us know.
tjs.art.commissions, and it's just a ton of commissions that I have. But yeah, maybe we'll start adding like some of other people's stuff.
Cool.
Yeah. I found Alex. I believe Alex's Instagram, and I followed him, and he's got really, really cool art. He has a really
original
cool,
art, or
yeah,
cool.
A really cool Alan the Alien, and I believe an Omni-Man too. It's really, really cool stuff. So, also one other thing that I'll allude to before we get into the next email. So we are here, going to C2E2, and there's a lot of celebrities there. And I don't know if you guys got like photo ops planned or like signings or anything, but if you weren't able to get them, I have a surprise for you, because the biggest celebrity of all time that came to C2E2 is here with us right now.
What? Are you talking about Wyatt?
That's what I thought he was
guys,
going.
you don't have to pay for like photo ops. I promise you. My rates are really cheap.
Again, if you're not on YouTube, go over there to see him in the plastic flesh. It's the sweet
God,
it's so good.
Oh my God.
He did a really great job, because I'm sitting here in the same room and I didn't know where he was going.
Where he was going, he was just reaching down.
He like pulled it out from under his freaking shirt.
Fucking cool is that? Look at him.
Look at his hand.
So
Look
for
at his-
anybody
look at
listening,
his hand, like all like
Presenting it.
So for
Yeah,
anybody listening, TJ pulled out a pop vinyl of the Dr. Pepper guy.
It's a little sweet.
Sorry, a little sweet.
Yeah, so someone reached out on Twitter and tagged me in it, and I bought it immediately upon seeing it.
That's
so
amazing. That's
thank you
amazing.
very much to our listeners.
Thank goodness you were able
for
to
looking
make
out.
Justin's career just skyrocket, right? Isn't it Justin?
Justin Guarini from American Idol.
I didn't even realize that was him. I've seen that
with
so many
the big
times.
afro.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
I don't think I knew that either.
Yeah.
Now you'll never look at the sweet one the same,
Wow.
or maybe you will. I don't know.
Maybe you will.
We were riding down the banister.
All right. So we got, I can't believe this, but we got another email that I want to read at the top that says, "Hello, Ryan, Bill, and the sweet one." It's been a while since I last wrote. I have a couple things to say, so bear with me. I have a confession. I'm not as big of a fan of Invincible as I thought I was. I always knew the Invincible Universe like the back of my hand. Or I thought I did. Turns out I only think I remember more than I actually do. I started reading the book in 2006, issue 30 to be exact. I read each issue only once when they came out. So any issue prior to 2012 means it's been over 10 years since I last read them. So when you guys do a game night or make predictions, you drop details that leave me saying, these guys have knowledge that runs deeper than the deep. I only remember the general points, like, remember when Adam and Eve went to Africa? I can't go into detail other than Mark flew to Africa to visit her. So what's my point? My point is, you guys have inspired me to become a better fan. I found a great deal on all 3 compendiums at Better World Books, and I'm reading the series again. When I finish, I think I'll start the Invincible Podcast, a podcast for the fans of the Invincible Podcast.
Hey, listen, if you need music for that podcast, I know
there you go.
can help you out.
It just remixes or references our song. Lastly, I have a couple questions. All right, it didn't say it at the top, but Luke from Los Angeles. Luke says, or asks, my son is 6 and asked me, how old do I have to be to watch Invincible? I told him, maybe a couple years older. What do you guys think? He already watches all of Jurassic Park and the Jurassic World movies. So I can't really speak for it. I mean, I have really no frame of reference. I don't have kids. Bill, Wyatt, you guys are probably best suited to answer this one.
You can go first, Wyatt.
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys have touched on this in episodes in the past, but I think it varies from like kid to kid. Like you have to just, I think, have conversations with your kid about, do they understand that certain things are make believe and that they're not real? And do they understand, what things mean, and can they handle that sort of thing? Because I'm sure there's some 6-year-olds that would be fine with it and love it and really enjoy it, and some that really wouldn't enjoy it and would have a hard time with it. So I think it just comes down to an individual basis.
Yeah, I agree. I was going to say that it's pretty subjective. Like Remy, my daughter, she's 7, and she's watched pretty much all of Invincible. And I mean, I've talked about it as Wyatt said a lot. Like, I don't really care about violence, especially animated violence. Especially because I don't feel like, you know, Remy's going to go out and try to Voltramite punch somebody because she thinks it's real. Like, I'll also watch a horror movie and be like, okay, good night, Remy. There's a ghost under your bed. And she's like, okay, Daddy, good night. Like, she's not she's not affected by that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's desensitized by it. But, you know, it's Luke. If your kids are interested and you're okay with it, cool. I mean,
everyone's, like you said, everyone's different too. I think we were all kind of talking about this recently too. Like, Ryan grew up, he wasn't allowed to watch Jurassic Park until he was like 16 years old. But I was like
almost
watching. I was watching
almost what, 17?
No.
When you moved out, and
I could watch it on my own.
Don't tell my mom.
My mom still doesn't know I've seen Jurassic Park.
But I've been watching horror movies since I was like 4 years old. So it's different for everybody.
Yeah. And then lastly, I want to hear a full report. Sorry, this is Luke again. I want to hear a full report about your time at C2E2. Are you guys flying or driving? Why C2E2 and not Fan Expo Chicago? Thank you for all the great work you guys do. Luke from LA.
So C2E2 just happened to work out to where, you know, Kyle Higgins was here and Ryan Ottley was here, and C2E2, I've been to C2E2 before and I loved it. So, and I've been telling, you know, Ryan and Bill about it, about how we should go sometime. So this kind of just worked out perfectly.
And a big part of it was us being able to, you know, come and help out and go to the Radiant Black event that's happening in Lockport, right outside of Chicago, where C2E2 is happening. So all those things kind of made sense. And we drove. We drove yesterday. It was a little over 9 hours or so in the car.
It was not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
It really wasn't too bad, right, Bill? I mean, it was a pretty easy drive.
As soon as I get in the fucking driver's seat, like, I get like maybe an hour of sunshine, and then Ryan's like, that looks like it's some rain up there.
And then there was the most perfect cliche single lightning bolt off in the distance a couple miles ahead. And me and Bill are just at the same time, we're just like, oh.
Shit.
And then it just came down.
Yeah, torrential.
The kind where
and
the
it wasn't
wipers
like,
weren't even doing anything.
Yeah, it was bad. Like, we were going 40. Every car was going 40 on the throughway. So it wasn't too bad, though. Honestly, there were only a couple times. But as for Wyatt, have you gone to a C2E2, a con? Like, what?
No, this is my first big convention. Like, and I that was a big appeal once the Radiant Black event got announced and you guys were going to be here. That was kind of like my reassurance that since I've never been to a con, I could rely on you guys to be my Sherpas through like the big con experience, which is what made me excited. So I flew out here because I'm from California, so driving would have been more than 9 hours.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so I've never really been to a big con before, so I'm super excited to get to C2E2 and check everything out.
Yeah,
cool.
It's a good one.
I have high hopes too, because TJ ranted and raved about.
I'm sure our next episode will be more about the details of what happened at the convention and so on. So we'll be talking about that next month.
Yeah.
All right. Now on to the Invincible related news. First up. Thank you. First up, biggest Invincible news of the perhaps year, maybe even decade. I don't know if you guys know this, but the Invincible Ultimate Collection hardcover volume 9 got the spine fixed. Everybody, please. Thank you. It's great. Big news. So for those of you that didn't know, the hardcover, the word Invincible was in purple, the same color as the number 9, and it has been corrected to be yellow. So,
but it wasn't even like announced or like anything like that, right?
No,
it was released into the world.
I saw an image on an eBay listing, and I'm like, it exists. It's like, my God, it exists.
What were you doing on eBay looking at like hardcover? Were you like looking? Were you waiting for this to happen?
No, that's pretty funny though. Just searching volume 9 hardcover, anything I can get. I have a dozen tabs open. No. It's
the first I heard about it was Sean Kirkham mentioned it on a CVL.
Oh, did he?
On a Comics Vault Live, yeah.
Well, I mean, we've spoken with Robert Kirkman on the show, and he's on record saying that it's something they were working on. And I honestly think it has to do with the success of the show and the fact that Volume 9 finally sold out of stock, and they had to do a reprint. And they fixed it in the reprint. And I haven't seen it in person, but it exists. It's out there. You know what? I know what I'm doing at C2E2. I'm just going to spend my weekend scouring the floor, looking through hardcovers and, Get my hand on
Trying to
it.
get old.
Yeah, yeah.
It does make me feel kind of special though that I have one of the purple ones now.
Right?
Though. Like
Now
it's
that's the
oddly,
collector's
it
edition.
was the thing that was like, oh, that kind of sticks out. But now I'm like, I'm going to keep that one under the new dust jacket.
Oh, of course. I
just
wasn't
so
gonna
I
get
can
rid of it.
look. I have the
I mean,
original.
No, of course. But no, for real. Other than that, other Invincible related news. Last episode, we talked about how Ryan Ottley was teasing some new variants, some new covers that he was drawing, and we didn't know at the time. Since then, San Diego Comic-Con happened, which we've got a few news items from, including the fact that we got to see those new covers. He actually just tweeted out this morning that he might have a few of those covers at his table this weekend. But they look pretty sweet. They look pretty great. One of them is the cover from the Felix poster that we knew about last month, which looks amazing, of all of them on there. Which, by the way, did you guys see the multitude of sketches that he was doing on those black and white covers of all the characters? Some of those were so great.
Yeah.
He did one of Kirkman.
Him
Oh,
or two,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
The one of him and Kirkman and Otley.
Yeah, they were both Viltrumites, I think.
Yeah.
I think Kirkman
Jack.
tweeted at him and was like, why'd you make us bad guys? It's great.
Those all look amazing. I love seeing like the random Omnipotus on one. There's like a science dog. There's a bunch of really cool ones. So getting to see those, I'm really glad Felix and Ryan have been posting so many of them, because it's just a neat like collection to look at. But yeah, so those, I mean, the variants that he did look amazing. There's black and white versions, foil versions, and so on. But also at San Diego Comic-Con, a really nice surprise, because I was actually talking to Jose over on Twitter. Shout out to him, who I was like, go check out the Diamond booth. Maybe they have information, or maybe even they have the Adam Eve or Robot action figures available for sale. I know at New York Comic Con last year, they had them a little early for sale kind of thing. And he went there and they didn't have them available for sale. And not only did they have them on display, but they had the next series on display, series 3 of the action figures. And so now we got to find out that we are getting Duplicate and Alan next, which is really cool. Those were among our top picks. And we also got to see that Adam Eve will be coming with a little shrinking Ray, and Robot will be coming with a Rudy as accessories.
Those are awesome accessories,
right?
Yeah.
Especially Shrinking Ray, like 2-in-1 figures right there,
right? Because
Yeah.
we'd probably never get a Shrinking Ray or a Rudy or something.
Well, we
like that,
are.
but being able to get it
Yeah.
to us still, and those were really great ideas. No. What kind of accessories would you guys want to see with Duplicate or Alan?
I know definitely with Duplicate, what I would love them to do, which it doesn't, from the pictures, it doesn't look like this is a thing they're doing, just having a little removable number
Right?
off of
Yeah.
it. Because then I would buy at least 3 of them.
Right?
You know what I mean?
Even and you're right, from the photo, it didn't quite look like that circle. That
Yeah.
number's going to be removable, but like maybe the arms or the arms
Good.
come off and the chest piece is removable.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I'll settle for a sticker. Like
Exactly.
even a sticker.
that
Mhm.
matches, which might end up having to be homebrewed if not. But
True.
yeah.
I think for Alan, I think the boulder that he sits on or kicks over to Mark could
Mhm.
work from the
Especially
or-
if he has an alternate head of him looking inquisitive or something, and then you can have him set up on your table or whatnot. Of him
Could you imagine
sitting
how
there
cool? Yeah,
in the background?
how cool he would look on the rock. Yeah.
Mhm.
Maybe his pad that he has
That's
that he
it.
uses
Uraf.
to coordinate.
And
yeah,
he-
says
he
Uraf
hasn't-
on it.
He hasn't had Canslock in the show, right? That would I always
No.
associate that
Yes.
with him, though.
There is-
So-
Yeah,
was only
I
a-
do too.
There's only a scene it was the Nolan telling them where I really come from.
right.
And you see one-
some of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, really excited about series 3 of the figures. Hopefully some villains next. Maybe some Battle Beast Titans.
I was surprised it wasn't Battle Beast
Right?
as the next wave. I felt like that was
Yeah.
almost a given.
I know. So
I think they have to get the teen team and stuff
Yeah.
and the heavy hitters out of the way before they start putting
Rexplode and Titan.
B characters in.
Rexplode, man.
Yeah.
Rexplode Titan.
I'm-
and Battle
Rexplode.
Beast.
Come on.
I'm shocked that Rexplode isn't like he's like a fan favorite, so you'd think that he would come before Duplicate.
Well, and he's the,
Not
he's the only one
complaining.
left of the teen team that we haven't gotten then, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And then
Monster Girl.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
Oh,
Monster
yeah.
Girl,
Yeah.
and then what's his name?
Well, Bulletproof.
Right.
Oh,
I
no,
mean,
Black-
pre-tryout teen
Black
team.
Black
Yes,
Samson,
pre-tryout.
yeah.
The
Yeah.
original,
Yeah.
like the first episode we see them in.
Oh yeah. Good point.
Also at San Diego Comic-Con, we got a couple Comics Vault live streams where we got to see a few things, including another Tyler Kirkham variant, this time of Battle Beast, which looks pretty sick as expected.
He's so good.
He is so good. This, of course, has a black and white version of a Virgin variant, a foil variant, all that kind of stuff. And this is for Skybound X25. Looks amazing as to be expected. Also, along with the Whatnot stuff, we've got a Whatnot version of the first series of action figures. So Omni-Man and Invincible in a Tyler Kirkham box with blood splatter all over it, a white box. Looks pretty sharp. They're calling it the collector's edition, I believe, or deluxe edition action figures. So yeah, neat stuff. We might get to see them this weekend at C2E2 because I know Whatnot's going to be there.
Would I buy one if they were for sale?
I think they were $50 each.
I don't know if I would buy one. I think I probably would, to just have one in the box that I wouldn't take out.
That's the thing.
I would too.
My action figures in the box that I haven't taken out. And I was keeping them in there because I want to keep them in the box. But now it's like maybe those ones I'll take out and this one would be the ones I keep in the box.
Do you have some that you've taken out already, though?
No.
Oh.
No. We sent those to a listener that won our contest.
Oh. Right. Yeah.
Yep. I know, because then I'm going to want some in the box and out
with the normal box. Right, exactly.
And then I'm going to have to open the ones in the deluxe box just to say I did, even though they look nothing. Yeah, there's no changes, which it would have been cool if those were blood splattered.
Yeah.
All right. That's it for Invincible related news this month. We're going to go on now to our main topic where we talk all about Skybound X, but I wanted to kick it off with a couple emails. And first up is Bill. You've got an email from Chris.
Wow. You're just throwing us for a loop, bro.
TJ, you're
for
up
a
next.
loop.
Just so you're not going for a loop.
All right. So, again, this is from Chris. Hey, guys. So glad we finally got some new Invincible. Was a little let down and thought there would be more of Battle Beast ravaging shit, but it was beautiful nonetheless. Although, is it just me, or did it feel like a build-up for something more? Not a series necessarily, but maybe in another issue or a small miniseries. It's probably just me hoping for more. LOL. By the way, a LCS by me.
Local comic shop.
Oh, you learn something new every day. Did you know what LCS was?
Yes.
An LCS by me had all 5 issues of Destroyer, and I figured I had to pick it up. I am so sorry for ever not voting for it. That shit was dope.
Right? We've been trying.
It definitely got my vote for the next co-creator catalog. Hashtag vote Destroyer. Stay awesome, guys. Love, Chris. Man, you're just going to be one more fan to be let down with this vote.
That's just what happens.
I appreciate the extra vote, but you are right. Destroyer is dope.
Yeah.
Wyatt, you've read Destroyer,
Well, did the
right?
same thing happen to you?
I haven't. You guys have talked about it so much that I've waited until it wins the vote because I want it to be like fresh for when we do the vote. But I have voted for it every single time.
No.
I have. Even when I see Mitch post on Twitter and be like anything but Destroyer, I go in and vote for Destroyer.
You should definitely wait.
There have been a couple times where it loses by like 1%, and we know that percent is Mitch.
Mitch and all of his fucking friends that don't even listen to the podcast.
Mitch
he
is
just
making
gets
alternate
everybody.
Twitter accounts and voting against Destroyer.
He's getting the whole cast of the play that he's doing. Like, guys, I need you to go to this Twitter poll right now.
I'm going to send you a link. Just don't vote for Destroyer. Man.
But yeah, you should wait, but once you read it, it is good shit. Very good shit. Mm-hmm. I think it's funny. I mean, keep it going. We'll get to it eventually.
No, Wyatt needs to read it.
Did you like the chaos?
I do. I like to watch the world burn.
Watch the world burn, yeah.
All right. I have an email from our good friend Frank Silva. I feel like it's been a while since we've heard from Frankie Silves. Hey guys, Battle Beast was pretty damn awesome. I'm excited to see what the Prelude turns into. I bet it's going to read so well together with the core series once it's done. I was lucky enough to go to San Diego Comic-Con with work, which that's awesome. You got to go to San Diego Comic-Con with work. Mm-hmm. And the first thing I did was get some of those Ryan exclusives. Nice. They're gorgeous. The new figures look cool as heck. Although I'm still not completely sold on that Angry Eve. Still going to buy her, though. Hope you guys are all doing great. This monthly format feels so long. I hope you get back to weekly or bi-weekly when season 2 comes up. Haha, take care, y'all. Frankie Silves. P.S. Any other cons you're going to other than C2E2? Not as of yet. We've talked about
Fan Expo.
We've talked about New York, but I think it's too late for that. Yeah, I'm probably going to go to Fan Expo. Ryan and Bill.
Toronto.
Yeah, Fan Expo Canada, in Toronto. Yeah, we're discussing that one. I'm probably going to go no matter what.
Over that lineup in the car ride here, and it's stacked, man. There are so many people going to Fan Expo Toronto in Canada. Yeah. Angry Face Eve. I'm assuming there'll be an alternate head. I mean, the last figures that we got had alternate heads, so there might be one where she's not angry faced, but we'll see.
Yeah.
And
but I mean,
agree.
just think about who her parents are. Like, she has every right to be angry. Like, and she's kind of falling in love with Mark, and he's unavailable. So there's what's going on for Eve right now that's happy.
Maybe in series 17 of the action figures, we'll get Eve's parents.
There you go.
And you can build the whole scene.
Yep.
Yeah. I got one here from Brad Mills. To avoid the wrath of Ryan Ottley, I sure hope Bill liked this comic.
I liked Hulk's art.
There's nothing you can say, man.
No,
Please
you're in too deep.
You can't come back. You can't come back from it. It's over.
I hope Ottley just tells you to go to the back of the line when you show up.
He fucking will, man.
I hope so.
God damn it.
Brad continues, because I loved this story. The use of the AI as a character was a great storytelling device. However, if this isn't expanded from here, I will truly be disappointed. Battle Beast is such a great character, and this felt like more of a teaser than an actual standalone comic. I know Ryan Ottley has plenty on his plate already, but any chance for him to return to this universe is a win in my book. As always, keep up the great podcast. I'm still catching up on Oblivion Song episodes now that I've got the last volume. Looking forward to listening along as I finish that story. Thanks, Brad Mills from Kentucky. Yeah, we also did the Oblivion Song podcast for its entire run from start to finish, and you can get that now as a complete series. I think the third hardcover didn't come out yet, but it's like any day now, right?
No, I think it's everywhere that I see online. It says October.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah.
That's a long time after.
It's long. So,
well, you can get it in trade paperback form or even better, comic book form. But the entirety of Oblivion Song is out, and you have an episode for every issue. An episode for every issue. So yeah,
it's a good one.
It's a good one.
I miss it.
We had Lorenzo De Felici on for the final. Or the penultimate episode of that show, and Robert Kirkman on for the final episode of that show. But more on Lorenzo De Felici later this episode.
Ooh.
Wow.
Okay. So we're gonna kick it over now to our thoughts on Skybound X25, more specifically right now with Battle Beast, and we're gonna send it to Wyatt first. Wyatt, what were your just initial top level impressions of this Battle Beast story?
I mean, the initial feeling is just like how great it is to have Ryan Ottley drawing in the Invincible Universe again. Like it felt every time, regardless of like what was on the page, it felt like a treat every time you see new Ottley art in the Invincible Universe. Like it felt like it shouldn't exist, and I stole it from a separate universe where he's still doing Invincible stuff. So it was just the whole time I was just excited reading all of it. And I'll echo what a lot of the emails said as well, that it did feel like, obviously it felt like almost like a teaser of sorts, because it wasn't like a full arc of a story necessarily. I mean, it's even called like Prelude, right?
Yeah,
like,
the title of it is Prelude.
It's called. So it definitely gave the impression that like, this is the beginning of a story that maybe we could tell at some point in the future. And that was exciting, if a little bit also like, but I want to read that story now. And so now I'm frustrated. But all of it was so great, from the like call back to him, let me tell you where I really came from, was so it like, that was neat, but also like made me laugh, because you would never expect to have that like emotional callback, have Battle Beast doing that in a comic. So it was just awesome. I loved every single bit of it.
Yeah, it was very euphoric, like a dreamlike state. Like when, and Wyatt, you also told me that you weren't sure about Ryan Ottley coming back, and you actually hated his art, and I had to convince you. I had to convince you. I
don't think there's any footage of me saying anything like that. There's a lot of footage of you talking about how you feel about Ottley, so
That backfired pretty good.
Yeah, so what I got from this was it reminded me of like Invincible. I think it's issue 41, where it was all new story. It wasn't just like a recap, right? It was all new story, but like that was an issue where they even advertised it saying like, this is a good jumping on point because we're going to fill you in on everything that came before it. And it was like, I think it was Mark talking to like Amber or Eve or somebody about all the struggles that he's going through. And then this is what happened with my dad. This is what happened with this. And Battle Beast, like, it didn't give us much new story, or it did, but it didn't. It didn't give us much new information, I should say. Everything that we learned about Battle Beast, we already kind of knew. But then we got the computer system, which I thought was brilliant, because Battle Beast can't have a friend, really. Like, that would be weird. But to make him a computer system, like, did that for the story. I think that was perfect.
Not only that, but he's not a friend, but he's also an enemy.
Yeah, he's like an enemy that they have to. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I tweeted out the day that it came out, and I meant it. Like, I was just grinning the entire time. I was just like, this is real. Like, this is happening, and it's like, and it's good, and it's fun, and I'm like on multiple levels. Like you're talking about the AI being hilarious, and just a cool plot device to get us through this adventure that is hopefully coming. But also to see those callbacks, the let me tell you where I really come from. There was more than that too. Just I love seeing the name of the planet. I know Invincible Inc. over on Kelsey over on Twitter called out that there was something, and I didn't even catch it at first, that it was Dorn with two N's. Like that's so cool. That's so fun. But yeah, you say, TJ, that we knew a lot of this beforehand, but I was still impressed with actually a little bit with how much longer it actually was. I was expecting it to be a few pages shorter than this. Yeah, and I know it was short, but like I actually expected it to be shorter. And getting that flashback, getting this story, getting this creative AI, and the setup, man, that last page of him sitting there all badass, and it's like, all right, let's find someone to kill you. And just like that promise is really
such a cool
exciting.
Ending. Yeah, it's such a cool ending. But I cannot wait for more. When do you think, Wyatt, when do you think we're going to see more Battle Beast? In what format do you think?
I feel like I have like learned to just not try to expect anything, just so that I'm not disappointed and delightfully surprised. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's safer for me to just be like, if this is all we get and I get to just imagine Battle Beast with his fun ship computer that wants to kill him and imagine what those stories are, that's great. But hopefully like we get it sooner than later. But I know Ottley's always so busy, and Kirkman's obviously always so busy. So
do either of you have the issue in front of you? I brought it, but it's in that room, not this room. And I can run over there and get it, but
let me give you my thoughts.
I have it digitally. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Well, I was going to say, if you go to the first page, the Sean Makowitz actually says something. Back up one more right here in this.
Yeah.
So if you want to, do you want to read that?
Oh yeah, sure.
Right there.
So he says, a gimmick so preposterous, Robert gave it his immediate approval, then blessed it with the Battle Beast, the first Invincible Universe comic story to be published since Invincible 144 concluded the series over 4 years ago. Battle Beast has been my favorite character since joining Skybound, so to see Robert and Ryan reunite is a reason to celebrate. And hey, the 20th anniversary of Invincible #1 is right around the corner. More on that later this year.
So to answer your question, TJ, I think maybe they announce it at some sort of anniversary panel or post or something to then come out sometime next year. And whether that is a like Negan Lives one issue thing where we get this adventure in one hopefully longer issue, or if it is already like, here's a 6-issue trade paperback story, whether it's fully completed like Firepower, or they're going to come out monthly. I think that makes the most sense, especially because in my mind, that's going to time up somewhere around the release of season 2. So it's just going to be all of that goodness. We know Ryan's working on Hulk right now, so I don't expect this is something that's already done.
Yeah, and there's a lot to go.
Soon.
There's a lot to go on Hulk too. I can see it being like a 1 year anniversary of the show, which would be like end of March, early April, or maybe like they love doing free comic book day stuff. So maybe if it is a multiple issue type thing, they could release the first one of there, or just do like like a one-off and conclude this story in a one issue on Free Comic Book Day.
But man, the idea of exploring the Invincible Universe, like doesn't sound like a one issue thing. Like I want to see
Ryan. It definitely doesn't. But we know. We want to
Mm-hmm.
multiple different properties, not just Battle Beast. Like I mean, there's so much out there.
I think that it coming out on the year anniversary of Invincible releasing, so around March, the end of Q1, and if it were a 6-issue like miniseries, something like that, it would kind of coincide because we all kind of think maybe season 2 will premiere early 2024 or late 2023. What do we think?
Sorry, season 2, early 2024.
Yeah. What year are we in right now?
I'm thinking
22?
next year.
Oh, next. So
fall of next year.
So fall of next year.
I think fall of next
year.
year.
So fall of next year. So if we're right, if it comes out fall of next year, then Battle Beast, if it was a miniseries, would end kind of right around when.
That's
right
what I'm
around
saying.
Invincible.
They're gonna be compatible somehow, just in the zeitgeist of Invincible.
Yeah.
Really quick, just to give my thoughts on the comic.
Yeah, I want to talk more about the thing. There's stuff we haven't talked about.
Yeah, with what you guys talked about, agree. I love it. It was Wyatt euphoric. Like I kind of felt like I was in a dream state reading it. Like am I dreaming? Is my brain making this up? Like it didn't feel real. And it felt even more euphoric because Annalisa Leone's
this is what I wanted to get to.
Her coloring on it, guys. Like,
if you don't know Annalisa Leone, she colored Oblivion Song
and a lot of other stuff too.
All we do on the Oblivion Song podcast is talk about how amazing Lorenzo's art is and Annalisa's coloring is.
But seriously,
so
read it again, knowing that there is not one dull color.
Yeah.
In any panel, like everything is vibrant, everything is like green neon or like this weird orange neon color. I don't think I've ever seen these colors in an Invincible comic before. So it feels right that it would be
his shadowing, like orange shadowing.
His shadow's never black or gray. There's no gray or black tones. It's all a color.
It's really sci-fi feeling too. Like it lends itself really well to the story they're telling.
Yeah.
In this ship
like
in space.
Even in this panel here, the last shot, like the background is not gray paneling, it's green, and you got this computer here that's like shining the light on there. It's so vibrant.
Ottley's art on top of her colors. Oh, it's just insanity.
Yeah,
it's
really
fucking insane.
It just added to it being like a special thing, you know, like really setting it apart from Invincible while still making it like this is a new next generation kind of thing. So
one thing I wanted to talk about before we start wrapping up the Battle Beast talk is where are some things that you would like to see the story go other than just him fighting creatures? I mean, unless that's what you want to see, what are some things you want to see in this story if it continues?
I would like to see, like, obviously it's Battle Beast and we want craziness, we want carnage, we want blood, and it's Ryan Ottley. But I also don't want it to just be that, and I know it won't be. Like one thing that Kirkman does is emotion, and I want to see how Kirkman can bring that into a Battle Beast story. I feel like that would be kind of difficult.
You need that? You think you need that?
I don't. If it depends on how long it is. If it's one issue, no, I don't. I want to see just fucking chaos.
Yeah.
But if it's an ongoing thing and it's going to be like multiple issues, I think that's something that Kirkman would absolutely do in one. Maybe it doesn't come directly from Battle Beast. Maybe it comes from other characters. But for sure. I mean, the computer system is not making it through this story.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
I mean, no way.
No, because we're gonna fall even more in love.
Exactly.
If we get more, we're gonna. It's and their relationship can evolve. Battle Beast will never. He'll never change. He's cursed. He only cares about the next fight. So I don't really think we're gonna see him have any kind of compassion or anything like that. And if he does, he might just say farewell to the AI before he destroys it. You know what I mean? Something like that. Do you think? I'm trying to think if we know of a Viltrumite that has an injury that we know of, but Battle Beast could have inflicted it.
Oh.
Like the one guy with the eye, Kang.
Here's
Frag.
the thing.
Frag.
When he breaks out of the prison, he's super stoked to fight a Viltrumite because he's heard of them and he's been waiting for them. And I think that's why he's in the prison. I don't think he could have fought a Viltrumite prior to going in the prison.
Before we've seen, right, exactly. That's what I was thinking.
So unless the series continues post prison break, because there's another gap of time, but I can't imagine that.
It could be like midway through.
You don't think they're going to do a jump?
I'm thinking this ends with the prison, him arriving at the prison. But man, that'd be really interesting if halfway through the story they're going to tell is the prison, and then that scene happens, and then it's him leaving, or well, no, because he's frozen in space for a while. An alien ship picks him up, thaws him out, but then he's gone for a while until Nolan and Space Racer and Alan.
Is he gone for a while? Is he gone for a while?
I think so. I'm gonna have to look into that, but
yeah.
Regardless, I mean, somewhere in there might be a reference to a daughter. I don't know. That could have been during any number of the time jumps that have happened.
Yeah. They might, you know what? They might know this answer. Just reference the Invincible podcast. They might know.
You know what? The Invincible podcast will probably be able to point you to a point in our podcast where we talk about.
Just go to the Invincible podcast.com and they have a whole list.
They have a list. Like you were saying though, Bill, like we kind of know where Battle Beast's story ends. So I'm kind of excited to get introduced to maybe another character that exists in the Invincible Universe that we can fall in love with, that we can get some character development through them too, because we won't be able to get too much through Battle Beast because he has to fit within these restraints. But something like that is something I get really excited about.
I have a prediction or a crazy throw it at the wall, see if it sticks, because we really like the AI already, right?
Yeah.
Okay, hear me out. What if it does crash? Right. And it crashes onto an alien planet and you see like these weird blue tendrils.
Don't do this, Bill.
Like come up and surround the ship. And then the AI, the AI bonds with this alien thing and becomes the blue spaghetti monster. And we finally get a backstory, not only to like what
we have something good, but we have something so nice, Bill.
And then it would go into another dimension and live in another dimension.
Why not? Yeah.
And this is the thing that heals Space Racer after Thrag kills him and splits his body in two, right?
Right.
You know,
more to come on that.
I feel like I can feel Robert Kirkman pounding the desk right now, being like, "Stop talking about the spaghetti monster. It's enough.
This is too far, guys. This is too far." All right, I'm going to jump into some emails here of what some listeners had to say more about Battle Beast. All right, I've got one from Charlie. This is a little bit of a longer one, but it's worth it. Hello, Invincible Podcast. I've been a huge fan of yours for a while now, but I have never written in. I started listening from the very beginning about a year ago. I've listened to almost every episode and wanted to write in, but kept forgetting. With the new Battle Beast comic, I thought I'd finally write in and share my thoughts and theories as to where the comic is going, as well as a theory I have about the show that doesn't really relate to the Battle Beast comic. I'll start with my thoughts on Battle Beast first. Personally, I really liked this issue despite how short it was. I think it going I think I have two theories. One realistic and what I think will actually happen. The other not likely to happen, but what I really want the most. Realistically, I think that the series is going to follow Battle Beast as the AI in his ship leads him around the universe looking for opponents to kill him, but to fail every time. I think that the series will end with Battle Beast encountering an enemy more powerful than him that captures him rather than kill him. I think that it will be revealed that the prison he brought him to after his capture is the Viltrumite prison ship, and the last panel will be him beginning his rampage in issue 55. I also think that the crew on the ship that he killed before the comic started are the same people we saw him attack at the end of season 1 of the show during the montage teasing an upcoming story. I think that this is a way of letting the fans know that this Battle Beast story will be animated in some form. That's an interesting call. That the last time we see Battle Beast...
Is that his theory that he doesn't think is going to happen? Or is
that's just that he could see happening realistically, but is for the animated series, which is interesting.
Make sense.
I like that.
Yeah.
Now for what I want to happen, but I don't think is likely. I think it would be cool if by issue 34, by issue 3 or 4, we see a shortened version of the Battle Beast and Thrag's fight where Battle Beast dies. I think after that, we should see Battlebeast's daughter listening to the stories of her father and beginning to fulfill her vow to kill all Viltrumites. I'd love to see her and Terra fight, and maybe the series could end with Terra and Battlebeast's daughter breaking the curse without having to kill Battlebeast's daughter. And on the last page, tease Terra and Marky fighting by having them disagree on how the problem with the new Battle Beast was resolved, and leading into the Cory Walker comic about the two of them fighting that has been teased a couple times. I know this is way optimistic, but I think it'd be cool to see more Terra Marky and maybe even a little more of Mark.
Yes, please. Yes,
yeah,
please.
I mean, that's like, yeah, that's a lot.
That shit right there is way more possible than I think, because you could do one full-length issue of a comic book of a montage of them trying to find like people for Battle Beast to kill her or to kill him. Like, you really could. Like, I mean,
I just can't see this Battle Beast story secretly being an introduction to tell a Terra and Marky story. Like, I want them both, and yeah, there can be some connective tissue there because of the Battle Beast daughter thing that that later can confront Terra. Like, that gives it some weight, but.
Yeah,
oof.
I'm not thinking so much about the Terra and Marky thing. I'm thinking about the whole, because we all were like, holy fuck, we're going to get another Battle Beast. We're going to get her daughter. And it was like 2 panels. You know what I mean? And which again, I get it. We all love the last issue. But I mean, it is like she's the next Battle Beast. Yeah. So this is called Battle Beast theoretically. So yeah, I think that'd be fucking awesome.
Interesting.
I think that's why this prediction is so like is such an exciting prediction, or that we all like perked up from it, is because it really is just like, what are all of the threads that are left that Kirkman could still play with in some form? What if he just did all of them now? Like, that would be awesome.
I also feel like this prediction or theory or whatever idea is just one sentence away from being like, whoa, Terra and Marky are fighting, but Marky's too busy with Angsham Levy's son and Chainsaw. It's like, it's one step away, so why not? You know, like, we could keep going because everything's kind of connected in a way. But I mean, yeah, that'd be exciting. They continue. And now for my theory about the show. In episode 100 of your podcast, while you were talking with Kirkman, he mentioned wanting to include stories in the show that he never had a chance to include in the comics. He specifically mentioned that he wanted to have a story where the characters travel to hell with Damien Darkblood. I think that when the show reaches 100, instead of having a clone, dinosaurs will actually kill Mark, and the other characters will travel to hell with Darkblood to save him. This seems like a good point in the story to include this plotline, since Mark's actions leading up to that point were questionable, and it would be the easiest point in the story to convince viewers that Mark would go to hell after death. Sorry for the long email. I'd love to hear your thoughts on these theories. Keep up the great work. Love, Charlie.
Keep the theories coming, because I'm like, I've never been more excited about the future of Invincible. Sir, you should like write.
I think we are going to get the hell storyline somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know
think it's going to be in
Mark
season
to hell
2
is going
because
to happen.
we know that Damien Darkblood went to hell, got banished to hell in the first season. So I think that like you said, Kirkman's already, been very vocal about how it's a storyline that he intended to do in the original story. And I think that that's him setting up being able to do it in the second season.
Yeah.
They're going to go to hell in the second season.
I love dinosaurs. I don't think that's going to happen, but it got me thinking about how much I didn't really care for the fake out clone thing. Because it's a fake out easy clone thing. You know what I mean? Like, Conquest came back from having his face flattened pretty much. You know what I mean? Spoiler alert, Nolan survived for a while getting ripped in fucking half. You know what I mean? So what if Dinosaurus does actually fucking kill Mark in a way that looks like he's dead, and then those people come in and like, oh, he's still kind of alive, and then instead of the Scourge virus being what makes Mark kind of takes him out of the picture, what if it's that, and then that gives Bulletproof?
Interesting.
Like,
Yeah, there's, I think, a lot of ways to play around with that storyline. I do think that we'll probably see some changes to that story from issue 100, regardless of whether it's this prediction or something else, just because that does feel like it felt very much like Kirkman subverting a comic book expectation, right? Like that was him kind of almost poking fun at like the Spider-Man clone saga and doing it all in one issue rather than dragging it out. Yeah. And that's very much like a comic book thing. They haven't even necessarily done that in the movies. Maybe by the time they'll probably have done that in the movies by the time we get to that. But I think that they'll probably make some changes just to make it kind of more relevant to the show watchers who maybe have not read the comics and wouldn't necessarily see that sort of reference to a comic book trope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, thanks for the email, Charlie. That was great. Bill, you are up next. I believe you have one.
Yeah, so I have one from Nertz Kalord is the name. Am I saying that right, Ryan?
It is.
Not quite. Nurtaku
Lord?
Nurtaku Lord? Okay.
Nurtaku.
I really enjoyed the Battle Beast Prelude. However, like Mark said on page 1, he definitely does kind of come off as a jerk, despite later in the main series showing some admirable and honorable traits. To be fair, he is cursed with massive amounts of anger that makes him stronger and more brutal, and all he wants to do is die. So I kind of get the attitude, but he still comes off a little egotistical, though he does have the feats and prowess to back it up. I really enjoyed his origin and his interaction with the ship AI, and if the series were to continue / ever be, I always imagine Battle Beast having a Samurai Jack / Primal feel. Couple questions I have going forward. What is the name of his race? Do we have a name for his race?
Are they Dornian?
Oh, we could theoretically like.
Are we all Earthians?
No, but I mean, to an alien race, they wouldn't.
I mean, there's Telescria and Telescrians, so I guess.
Viltrum and Viltrumite, Dorn and Dornian.
So we're the weird ones.
Dornian or Dornites?
Dornites?
Or Dornanites?
Dornthians.
Dornthians?
I don't know. We'll have to... Maybe we'll ask Ryan out this weekend.
Somebody tag Robert.
That's great.
All right. Does Battle Beast curse make him stronger than the rest of his species? I think it does. I think he's kind of a hero. Because I mean, there's
whether it makes him
war.
stronger or not, like the curse, I think is that rage is what keeps him going.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he was able to overcome like every other person like on the planet, Dornanite on the planet, because he was able to stop the wars from happening. Yeah. So I would assume that he has to be stronger than them.
Maybe.
Like,
yeah.
And I don't necessarily think it just makes him more like has more stamina. So I think so. I think that's a good thing to kind of assume. Is his father the king? Walk? I don't think so.
Walk? Maybe not. I don't know.
No, he was just a random
guy.
It
didn't seem like he was like of a bloodline. They said that he like kind of fought his way to proving himself, right? That was my impression, at least.
Right. Will we see any more of his backstory?
I'd vote
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think no.
I think he is like, I feel like, I don't mean to call him a simple character, but like he's a character that serves the purpose of being chaos and angry and brutal, and like that's what we need to know about him.
Yeah, and I think if we would have gotten, or if there was any more pertinent backstory information, we would have gotten it. We just got several pages of backstory. Like, I think that's all we need to know.
What if before he got his curse, it's just Battle Beast like sitting at a desk in a suit, like working in an office? Yeah, he's an accountant. All right. Biggest question: where did his mace go from issue 19?
Oh, so I saw
he had a giant sword and not a mace.
No, he had both. He has both
in
in issue 19, because I saw this email and I double checked. So I went back and looked at issue 19, and he uses the mace, smashes Invincible's face, which is what tears the mask off and really messes him up. And then it cuts to other panels of the fight. And then next time you see Battle Beast, he has his sword and he's like leaning over Mark or whatever. And then he holds up Bulletproof and Black Samson, and then he leaves with just his sword. So I'm saying it right now. Invincible's face broke the mace.
Okay.
I think it smashed it. It destroyed the mace. We just didn't see it because it's gone. So that's my headcanon. Just like we got to see the helmet. He wore his helmet, set it down on the computer or the area, and he leaves it there. I mean, he never puts the helmet back on.
He could,
but it has to go. It has to fall off again at some point.
It did feel like it was like Ryan and then being like, he had the helmet there, so we have to start with the helmet, but we don't really like the helmet anymore.
Yeah,
so let's take it off.
Let's take it off. Yep. So yeah,
I have an email from the Sound of the Invincible podcast and good friend Wyatt Layne. Actually,
Great.
Wyatt Layne, would you like to take this one?
I'll take this one. Behind the scenes, since I did not know I was going to be on the podcast when I sent this email.
Can't wait to see what you thought of this story.
Wyatt says,
for the
hey
moment,
guys, I love the new Battle Beast story. Dynamic between the ship's computer and Battle Beast was so fun, and seeing Ottley back in the Invincible Universe was such a treat. It also made me wonder if we ever see any of this story adapted into the animated series. If so, who would you cast to voice the ship's computer? So we'll start with that.
Oh.
And so I thought of this because it did feel like, you know, with this, the Battle Beast stuff tying in maybe into season 2, could they put a couple of these scenes to show where Battle Beast is in between other things that happen? And maybe it's just because Barry just ended, but I would love Bill Hader.
Why did I think that?
Bill Hader
Yeah,
is
I
so
thought that.
great. Like,
Yeah.
he's got
Yeah.
that, like, kind of comedic, kind of sassy kind
Body,
of attitude, but can also kind of be a little bit unsettling and scary. I think he'd be great.
I think no matter what, though, whether it's him doing a different voice or not, but the first time it talks, it has to be wildly different than Bill Hader.
Mhm.
And then when it comes back and says, I changed my voice to be more pleasing, this?
Yeah.
Then it's Bill Hader.
It can be like SNL Bill Hader
Yeah, right.
and then Barry Bill Hader.
There you go, yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Simon Pegg, and I feel like he could do a fun
The accent and everything.
like he could do both. Like, I've heard him sound very robotic, and then I've also obviously heard him being, you know, Simon Pegg. So
Mhm.
I think
That's
that would
good.
be fun,
I like
and
that.
he would probably do an animated kind of thing.
Mhm. I want him to just do something Invincible. He's got to be a part of the show in some way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want like
I mean,
think you should voice
Tether
Octobus.
Tyrant and Magmaniac haven't spoken yet. We haven't really heard them talk. So
Yeah.
if they get a little story, I wanted that to be them.
No, I got it.
You
I
got
got it. It's when they create the cult in England. And he could be from all the shit flying over, like
We've
the caps
talked about
and stuff
that
like
before.
that.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
would be good. That would be
Yeah.
good.
All right, and then I think I've got the final.
Was that the rest of your? Was that
Email.
all your email?
I did also just say that obviously from Skybound X, I loved Kroma. Kroma was such a great start to a story. Like, I've never been hooked so quickly by a story. So I love Kroma and can't wait to get more of it.
Yep.
You read that email just like him too.
I know, right? I've been
Perfect.
practicing my impression.
Yeah. All right. Last email about Battle Beast, and then I want to talk more about Kroma. Hello again, members of the Invincible Oblivion Song podcast. First off, I just want to say how cool it was for you guys to have gotten my letter in the Hulk episode. Even though Ryan mispronounced my name. Oh, it's okay, Ryan. Everybody says it like that the first time. You didn't correct me though, man. So this
Fucking up, Ryan.
So what is it?
It's
Fucking
Owen
up.
Sailor, but I guess it's not. Maybe it's Owen. How would you
Sailor?
Sailor?
Sealer, maybe?
Sailor? Sailor?
What if you're getting Owen wrong?
It's actually Owen.
Owen. But it's not a big deal. But what's even cooler is that with the announcement of Skybound X25, we not only get to see the first new Invincible story since 2018, not only does it reunite Robert Kirkman and Ryan Ottley for the story, but also having the focus be on Battle Beast? Yes, please. So, judging by how the story ended, it's kind of apparent that the story will lead into a Battle Beast miniseries, which brings me to my question. Because Battle Beast is traveling to different planets to try and die, which planets do you want to see Battle Beast visit, and what kind of creatures do you want to see him fight? Thanks, and keep up the great work.
I want him to fight the blue spaghetti monster.
And get thrown back in time, and then we get a reboot episode of Battle Beast where he gets to undo all the people he killed.
Right.
No, I mean, I think seeing him somehow land on the Coalition of Planets or something like that, because that's really one of the only locations I can think of to see him show up on. That would be a callback.
Are there still Viltrumites on Viltrum? Or are
At this point,
all
yeah,
of them?
I think so.
What if he were to go there and there were none, and he just
No, I
kind of
think they
sees
are,
like all
'cause-
of them dead? Are you sure?
Because they destroyed Viltrum, and that was a big deal.
Yeah.
Well, they destroyed it because
like,
it
all
was
the
it was a
buildings
symbol, right? But it was a
You're
symbol.
right. They
There-
were
I
kind
mean,
of
there's
spread
only
out.
there's only aren't there only like 50 of them alive? Like 50 purebred.
Something
Like it's
yeah. So maybe
they
you're
wouldn't
right.
all. So wouldn't it be cool if he goes there because like, oh, the Viltrum Empire,
And
like
then
I
it's
want to
like,
fight
I
one of
guess they're
those.
all gone. And then he
Right.
later finds out that some are still alive.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I like
Yeah.
it. I'll take it.
Mm.
Okay. All right. All right, guys. We are running a little long, so I do want to talk about Kroma. We just heard Wyatt talk a little bit about it. What about you guys? TJ, let's start with you.
Oh man, that's it.
Okay, that was good. Right?
Agreed.
No, it was so good. I mean, the premise behind it of the color, being like them being scared of the color and then venturing out into the color, into the forest, and then there's monsters in it, which is perfect for Lorenzo De Felici. Even like once you go into the colors, like making colors a part of the story also has me excited for it being Lorenzo De Felici, because with Oblivion Song, we always raved about the covers, and every single cover of Oblivion Song was incredible. And Lorenzo was the one that did the colors for the covers. So it I'm really excited for this. And just I love the the time that it takes place. You know what I mean? Like
the
it's not
setting?
time, but the setting, like the environment of it.
Yeah.
Like the culture of it and the civilization piece of it is just
It's
awesome.
really-
And this is definitely a book that I can see being nominated for
Eisner's.
It just looks like it's going to be emotional. It looks like it's going to be very artistic.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
But not in
Cannot wait.
like a pretentious kind of. This is such it's nightmare fuel. It's like you have a dream, right? And you're like, what the fuck did I just dream? Like really, we had the pleasure of talking to Lorenzo, and he is, for as creative and as crazy as this guy's mind has to be, he is so fucking down to earth and like organized with his thoughts and his creative process. Like, was it on the Invincible podcast that we had him on, or was it on? No, it was on the
Lorenzo?
Oblivion. Yeah, obviously. Go listen to that. Like it's a really great. But my thoughts on it. I love the countdown. There's only 1,263 souls. I love the ideas of them wanting to go out and expand. Like they bring these like black and white fabric out. I love the idea that they can't actually be seen by the creatures. They can be heard. And that's why they don't want to get any like fauna on them or color on them. At one point in it, there's a creature and they're going to kill it. And they're like, no, don't get any red on the fabric or on
It
you.
almost gave like a Quiet Place vibes, but instead of sound,
Yeah,
it is color. Like
right,
you
exactly.
can't get color on you. Otherwise,
Also,
it's crazy.
Yeah, also the main character, this half horn guy that you're like, oh, he's the hero. He fucking dies in it. Like, and I had to go back. I'm like,
it felt
wait,
like they were setting him up to be this character, and then
was it him? Dude, Wyatt, I agree. It happens very rarely where a new IP comes out that you're hooked. And the fact that this is just like however 5-6 pages.
Yeah.
Man, what, like, you've given me so much to look forward to in such a small, you've created a world, an idea that I already kind of understand. In such a short amount of time, I can't fucking wait for more Kroma.
I mean, it was obviously everything that we talked about previous to this was, Battle Beast and how amazing that was, getting Ryan Ottley back on to an Invincible Universe, into the Invincible Universe, more Invincible story. Like, it was incredible. I think Kroma was my favorite thing in all of Skybound X.
Nice.
Yeah.
It, like Bill said, nothing really captured me like that. And like, it's not even a full issue. And it captured us the way it did.
As far as comparing it to Battle Beast, I mean, Battle Beast was everything I wanted. Chroma was everything I wanted that I didn't know I wanted. You know what I mean? It was such a fun surprise, and it was so good.
Yeah.
But again, we shouldn't have doubted that. And it's really exciting that it's going to be 40-page issues like the Ultra Mega style, where November, you're getting like a small graphic novel, basically. That much of a story to tell at once. It was just
I just like being surprised. Like I like not knowing what something is and having my expectations just completely like I didn't know what it was, and I didn't know that this thing could be.
I didn't even realize until reading it, like that Kroma was a play on chromatic, and it has to do with the color.
Yeah, it
and
felt stupid.
Wyatt called out, or was telling me how like the monster sees in RGB, it has 3 eyes, one red, green, and one blue.
Get out
like
of here.
Yeah, if
Yes!
you look at the one that
Stop
eats
it.
the half-horn guy, he has 3 eyes. One is red, one is green, and one is blue.
Right?
It's so cool. It's such an awesome detail. Like, it's rad.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's
Oh
so
my
great.
God. Lorenzo, stop it. Stop.
Super excited. Can't wait for that. We'll be sure to talk all about it when that comes out on this show. We'll do a little segment or have a monthly or bi-monthly or whenever it comes out segment where we could talk all about Kroma. But great stuff. Super excited. We have to get moving. We've got some Radiant Black party to attend and a bunch of other fun stuff to do. So we're going to wrap it up
Wyatt,
here.
Before we go, what's one thing that you're looking forward to at C2E2?
Oh man, I mean, obviously, I'm excited to meet Ottley and maybe get some of those like exclusive variants that he's had, because I know he teased a little online that he's maybe going to have more of the stuff he had at SDCC.
So you brought a lot of money then with you, obviously.
I told you I had a layover in Vegas. I hit those slot machines hard, and it did not go well. So no, I don't have a lot of money. But yeah, I'm excited to see Ottley and see what he's got at the booth. And then honestly, like I said, it's my first big con. So I'm excited to just kind of either wander around or follow you guys and figure out what to do and what to see for sure.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Cool.
We'll have more to say about all of that on our next episode. We release first Friday of every month. Hopefully I can get this one out in time. We are away, so I got to edit this and figure this out in a few here. Go ahead, Bill.
Before we go, just one last thing. I just really quick.
Yeah, okay. For the audio listeners, every time there's a silence, Bill and TJ look at each other and nod approvingly. And it's apparently the funniest thing ever. Wyatt, thank you for joining us on this mess of a podcast. And of course, thank you as always for doing the music. Check out all of Wyatt's music over on SoundCloud, Spotify, anywhere else I'm missing, Apple Music, all that good stuff. Wyatt Layne.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me. It was so much fun.
Anytime. All right.
Thank you to the sweet one.
Nope,
for
that
joining
does
us.
it.
Appreciate it.
We're done.
The sweet one.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.